So hi everyone, welcome to our channel Coding with Vignesh. So as you know, we are conducting mock interview series. As part of that, today we are conducting Java mock interview, and we have with us Abhishek here. Abhishek, welcome to the mock interview.
Hi.
Yeah. Abhishek, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Abhishek Kumar. I have done Bachelor of Engineering from Gujarat Government College,
Mm-hmm.
and my prior language has been Java since my
Okay.
college time.
Okay.
And before that, I started with C++ from
Mm-hmm.
school time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and then after college, I did some internship, and then I got job offer from that company.
Okay.
So during my internship period, first I made a project
Mm-hmm.
as per the requirement, and then they launched me in another project that was already been developed,
Okay.
and I was responsible for creating RESTful APIs and testing and then debugging and all.
Got it. So since it's a Java round, right? May I know since how long you're practicing or learning Java?
Uh, since my college time,
Mm-hmm.
it was in syllabus, and so basically I started with C++, so switching to Java was quite easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and so build some project in college time, and then uh,
Okay. In your current project also you're using Java.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Uh, so may I know like what libraries or anything you have used in your day-to-day, like which is often you have used in your day-to-day projects in Java?
Yeah, so like I'll tell you in my company,
Okay.
from my company. So the first project was basically the main aim was to hash image,
Okay.
and uh, then take another image and then hash that too, and then check the similarities between those two
Hmm.
images.
Hmm.
So for hashing image, I used JHash algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
So and after that, in like you asked for day to day, so like
Yeah.
utility libraries were there, and
Okay.
maths library and many more.
Got it. Got it. No issues. Okay. Cool. I think we can get started. As everybody knows, the Abhishek is having 9 months experience. We'll try to cover questions accordingly. And those who are watching this video, just one request is whenever I ask questions, take a pause and try to answer with Abhishek also, so that you can also practice for your interview. That's the advantage. So, okay, we'll get started. Maybe we'll start with basics, as I told in the beginning. So do you know the difference between this JDK, JRE, JVM, Abhishek?
Okay, so JDK is Java Development Kit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically provide us the packages and libraries.
Okay.
JRE is Java Runtime Environment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it is responsible for enable our local machines to run Java programs,
Okay.
and it consists JVM, Java Virtual Machine, which basically compiles the byte code in machine language.
Okay. Okay. So Java is called as this platform independent language, right? Do you know like why it is called platform independent?
Uh, like in which context? Like maybe
Like basically
compiled.
like yeah, like basically once you write, right, you can run anywhere. So do you know how that
Yeah.
works? Yeah. Do you know how that
Yeah,
works?
so basically, so it get compiles. Basically, it get converted into byte code,
Mm-hmm.
and that byte can be run in any machine, but
Mm.
having JVM in that machine.
Yes.
So
Correct.
basically, JVM converts that into machine language, and that gets
Correct.
executed.
Yeah. So you're right. And there will be specific OS specific JVM, so that will help to make Java platform independent. Cool. So let's move on to next topic. You know the concepts, right? Like OOPS pillars, basically this abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism.
Polymorphism.
Yeah. Can you talk about that briefly?
Okay, so let's begin with encapsulation.
Mm-hmm.
So while we create class,
Mm-hmm.
we declare many variables and member functions. So encapsulation says that we bind up the members and member functions in single unit, that is
Okay.
called class, and this process is called encapsulation.
Mm-hmm.
Next is polymorphism.
Yeah.
So like using a function multiple times with different arguments. Okay, so like overriding and overloading. So
Hmm.
this is called morphism. So it
Okay.
basically enhance the code reusability. Then we have abstraction.
Mm-hmm.
So abstraction is hiding implementations and showing just the main purpose of the code to the users.
Okay.
Then we have inheritance. So inheritance is deriving child class from some parent class.
Okay.
So
Cool. So you talked about this overriding and overloading, right? Can you
yeah,
explain a little more on that? Like, what is overloading? What is overriding? And you even told it can help to achieve the code reusability also. Is it
yeah.
really so? Can you
So
talk about that? Yeah.
okay, so let's say we derive one, we derive from one class,
Mm-hmm.
the parent class, and in
Mm-hmm.
parent class there is one method that we want to use in the child class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so rather than writing that method and whole functionality again in child class, we just override the method from that parent class. So that is
Okay.
called method override. And within the same class, if same function is called again and again with different parameters, then that is called method overloading.
So in case of overriding, right? Maybe just one more follow up on that. Like, how is the method name and all the attributes or the parameters and return type? Is it same as the parent or is it different in case of overriding?
In case of overriding, no, I'm not sure, but I think that should be same as parent class.
Okay, that's cool.
But the main functionality that get executed will be from the child class.
Got it. Got it. So that's cool. So let's say in inheritance, right? Is it possible, like, let's say I have some private method, okay, in the parent class. Is it possible to call that from the child class?
I didn't get that.
So in inheritance, right? Let's say there is a child class which is inheriting the parent class, and
Okay.
so is it possible for child class to call the private method of the parent class?
Private method is accessible within that class only.
Okay.
So
So it's not accessible from outside, is what you're saying.
yeah,
Okay, that's fine. And do you know about these access specifiers, public, private, default,
public
protected?
private.
Yeah. Do you know like what it means, like what exactly it signifies? Any idea?
So basically we define the access modifier by itself. It says that we define the accessibility of that particular uh, let's say variable or method. So that could be within the same class or within the same package, or
Hmm.
in that can be like accessible from another class too. So public is for if you want to access from another class. uh,
Mm-hmm.
Protected is from within the same package, and private is for like within the same class only.
Okay. Any idea about default?
Default is there too. Default is as similar to private.
Okay.
But what
Okay.
specify
Yeah. So just one thing, those who are watching this video, this is one of the important thing. These access specifiers plays an important role in language. So it's good to know how it works and just try to understand it. If you don't know, like create some examples and try to explore it. Okay. We'll move on to
actually
next.
in
Yeah, please.
uh, during writing unit test,
Mm-hmm.
we basically create one base class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so from that base class we call method in the unit test. So in base class we we should keep things in public so that we can
Okay.
access it. So there it plays a quite good role for access modifiers.
Okay.
And like
Okay.
while defining,
You're
yeah,
saying calling the public method of the source code from the test.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. We'll move on to next question. So you may be knowing about this double equals and equals method, right? double equals operator and equals method.
Equals. Yeah, comparing value and comparing reference.
So can you tell like which is to compare the value and which is to compare the reference?
Okay. So let's say there is one two string A and string B.
Mm-hmm.
So string A is equal to hello and string B is also equal to hello.
Okay.
So if we want to check if string A has the same string as string B, then we use dot equals.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
So if you use
for
double
reference,
equals, what will happen?
for double equals, we'll check if it has same reference.
Okay. So let's take an example. I mean, those who are watching this video, maybe you can try to visualize also. Let's say it's string A is equals to hello and string B is equals to B. Sorry, string B is equals to A. String A
Okay.
is hello and string B is equals to A I'm making. And if I do A double equals to B, will it return true or false?
All right. So um, A is
A is equals to
string.
hello. Yeah.
So A is pointing to hello and B is
Equals
uh,
to A. What is the response? Sorry.
okay, so I think if I'm not wrong, then uh, response should be true.
Why do you think so? Why it is true?
Uh, okay, so string B is equal to A, and A
Mm-hmm.
is having some. So I'm not quite sure here.
No issues. Okay. Cool. I think we'll move on to next topic. So do you know about these exceptions in Java? Have you used any exceptions in your code?
Yeah, several.
Okay. Like by chance, do you know the types of exceptions?
Uh, like in common types are like arithmetic exceptions, not found exceptions,
Yeah, those are all
validation.
like kind of exceptions only, but I just want to know the broader category. Like at the top, like there are two types of exceptions. Do you know about that?
Class not found exception kind of.
Okay, maybe I'll only help. Have you heard about this compile time and runtime exceptions or checked or unchecked exceptions? So
Yeah,
do you know the difference between that, like checked and unchecked? Do you know the difference?
yeah, I have read that. Basically, checked and unchecked are based on the compile time exception and runtime exception itself.
Okay. So what
So
is compile
check
time in that? Yeah.
compile time is like uh, while we are writing some code, so
Mm-hmm.
and at that time some exception occurred, that is called checked exception, and that is compile time exception.
Okay.
And when we run the program,
Mm-hmm.
so if some error or exception happens, then that is called runtime exception and
Okay.
unchecked exception.
So is it possible to catch runtime exception?
Runtime exception, let's say if we have A
Maybe
and
you
B
can
and
think about an example. After that, maybe you can think about exception
uh,
handling. Yeah.
let's say we have two integer A and B,
Mm-hmm.
and B is equal to 0 and A is something not 0.
Mm-hmm.
So if we try to get A divided by B,
Mm-hmm.
then it will cause arithmetic exception.
So what is the value of B?
B is actually 0.
Okay.
So and A is non-zero. So
Mm.
A by B is basically arithmetic exception. So
Correct.
uh, uh, so you asked me to like if we can catch that.
Correct.
Here we can put a condition like if B is equal to 0, then arithmetic exception kind of.
Correct. So that's a preventive measurement. But is it possible to catch it?
Like since you are asking is like a question, so
No
I think
issues.
there might be.
No issues. Yeah. Maybe you can check it out. Those who are watching this video also can check this question. So let's move on to the next one. So in your coding, right, you must have used collections.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are all the collection types you have used?
Set, array, list,
Okay.
map.
Hmm. Cool. So when you'll go for set, actually, what is the use case for set or hash set in the application? Do you know?
So set is basically used to collect unique values.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It
And
basically hashes the value and implement linked list internally.
set
Then
implement linked list internally, you're saying. So you're saying hash set internally uses linked list. Is it correct? Okay. Yeah,
yes.
those who want to understand the internals, and I'd recommend whenever you're studying any collection types, so recommended thing is to go through and understand the internals also. Basically, hash set uses hash map internally. That will internally uses list till certain complexity. After that, like after Java 8 onwards, if it reaches certain threshold, it will move to basically binary tree. So that's the new thing. But yeah, it's fine. But it's good to know the things because it will help you to understand how internally it works, and it will help you to know the complexities also. So next we'll move on to list. So in list, like why you think list is useful? Any idea?
Why sticks?
Why
Sorry,
we
come again.
need this array list? What is the use case? Do you know?
Or like where we need to store dynamic values. So dynamic size of array is basically list.
Correct. So since you touched that, do you know the difference between array list and array?
Yeah, so array has defined size
Mm-hmm.
and list has like, as per the requirement it increases its size.
So dynamic sizing. Yeah. Okay. So in list, right? Does it maintain order like linked list? Does it maintain the order of insertion? Like
Uh,
if I keep
linked
on
list,
doing
linked list
that,
maintain its order.
how about array
Mm,
list? Like if I do dot add, right? So what will happen?
yeah.
Does it maintain any order or it will store it randomly?
So like while we access elements from list,
Mm-hmm.
we, we don't access it by index number or anything. So I think order is not important in list.
Okay. So you're saying order is not important in the array list. Okay. That's fine. Let's move on to map. Okay. So in map, can I store null key? Like my key is null, value is something. Is it allowed to store null in the hash map?
So you are saying key is null.
Key is null and value is something else. Or value can also be null, but our interest rate is, I mean, we are interested in key mainly.
If we can store null as a key, then we cannot store repeatedly null.
No, I'm saying one null.
One null, yeah, it is
Is it
possible.
allowed? So
Yes.
let's say, since you brought that point, right? I have a follow-up, but it's non-null case. Let's assume I have an integer key and string value, like map of integer and string. Okay. And maybe
Integer
sorry.
integer cannot be null at
No, no,
any
no,
point.
no, no.
So
This is a different question.
okay, okay.
It's a different question. Now, so let's say if I store, um, so integer is a key and value is a string. I'll store one is my integer and my value is hello. Okay. I just do map dot put one and hello.
Okay.
Okay. So if I do again map dot put one comma maybe XYZ. So now what will happen? Like that hello will still in the map or it will be replaced with XYZ? Any
It
idea?
will be replaced. Saji.
Why it will be replaced?
Uh, I don't know the reason, but I like while solving DSA, we basically do like map dot get I and then put
Okay.
get or default and increment the value. So
Yeah. That's basically same key, right? So you're basically playing with same key and you're updating the value. That's why it will change. So do you know about final keyword? Have you any time used final?
Final keyword is used to restrict some modification, basically.
Okay, so let's say if I do final int a is equals to 4, if I have to, maybe if I do a plus plus, is it allowed?
No, it is not allowed.
Okay, so let's say I have a uh, declaration, like I have a class and have a declaration like final int a, and if I don't assign anything, program will it compile?
In class, like uh, you didn't declare that in any method.
No, I have declared, I mean, at the class level, final int a is my declaration, but I have not assigned any value. Is it allowed to do that?
I'm not sure about that.
Sure. Um, we'll discuss about this default values. Okay. So let's say if I declare Boolean, I mean small b, Boolean, maybe is allowed. Some, let's say there is a variable name and I have not assigned anything. I've just used Boolean is allowed. So will there be any default values for that?
False will be the default value for that.
Okay. So how about for integer? Like I have int a. Will there be any default
Yeah,
value for that?
zero will be the default.
Okay, that's cool. Let's move on. We've covered exceptions. By chance, do you know about threads? Like, have you used threads in your application?
I haven't used that, but yeah, I have little bit idea about that.
Okay, that's fine. Um, how about streams? Like, which version of Java you are using in your application?
Java 8.
Okay, do you know about streams?
Streams, yes.
So do you know the advantages of streams by chance? Why do you think streams is useful?
This is the boilerplate code, basically.
Okay.
We
Um,
simply, like, let's say we have some list, so list dot stream, then we can operate on that directly.
okay. So what boilerplate it will avoid? Can you tell?
Like, let's say if we want to operate on a list, then
Mm-hmm.
uh, there is some, I'm not sure, like I haven't
No
used
issues.
another, like
No issues. No,
other
no
um,
issues. So do you know about this interfaces?
interfaces. Yes.
So what this interface contains? Can you talk about interface? Like, why do you think it is required? Have you used interface in your application?
So, like, as per the one of the pillar of OOP abstraction, so interface is a kind of that. Like, it basically lists out the necessary methods that must be implemented or that should be implemented in future for
Okay.
certain problems.
Okay. So do you know about this default methods, static methods, which are introduced in Java 8? Have you heard about that or used it?
For default method, we have to define its body.
So
And
is this inside interface or class where you will define default methods?
site interface.
Okay. How about static? Static methods, have you got chance to
Static
explore?
method, like if we want to use a method without instantiating its class,
Mm-hmm.
then we
Okay,
can use
cool.
a static.
Okay, fine. Let's move on. Since we touched static, so maybe I'll have one question. So, or maybe a few. Let's try to cover a few questions on static. So let's say the static method is there. Okay. I think you touched briefly in the previous question. Do we need to create an object to call that, or is it okay to call with the class name itself? So let's say,
Sorry, come again.
yeah, let's say there is a method static maybe void add something is there. It does some add operation. It's inside your class.
Let's take an example, no? Like methods from maths class.
Hmm.
So everything is static, so we don't instantiate, we directly call it from class maths
Cool.
dot.
Yeah, this is one of the good example. Those who are watching, right? So I would recommend whenever you are learning something, right? You should know the libraries also which you are using. Maybe you are using this day to day in your coding, but you may not be able to recall. So it's good to know how it is done. Like any IntelliJ or Eclipse you use, or maybe Visual Studio Code. I would recommend go inside and check the library. So that will give you an insight how it is basically created. That's a good observation. Um,
Even in project, if we want something like utility method, so
hmm.
we put that like static.
Okay, cool. So that's cool. And let's move on. So let's say I have a static variable. Okay. So static
Okay.
int something is I've declared. And is it okay to use that static variable inside non-static method?
I tried to use that, but I got some error. Like
Okay, cool. So
uh,
from non-static method, is it allowed to call the static method?
uh, I'm not sure about that.
No
Like
issues. No issues. Yeah. I mean, these things actually sometimes, even though we have tried, sometimes it is difficult to recall in the interviews, but it's not an issue. Cool. Maybe we are almost end. Okay. Maybe I'll just continue for 5 more minutes. After that, we'll discuss feedback and some question and answers. Q&A if you have anything. Um, so we
okay,
covered
so
a lot of.
uh,
Mhm.
you asked me like from non-static if you can call static.
Yeah, like both the ways, like static to non-static or non-static to static. Like, is it allowed or which is not allowed?
uh, from non-static we can call static, like the earlier I said, like we have utility method as statics
Hmm. Okay.
from non-static.
Got it. Cool. So we'll move on. I think you must be knowing about this string buffer builder. You might have used some of these, no?
I've used string builder.
Okay. So what is the difference between string and string builder? Do you know?
String is basically immutable.
Okay.
Okay, so that means if we create string, let's say string a is equal to hello.
Mm-hmm.
So there is string pool in Java. So hello gets
Okay.
stored in that string pool, and
Mm-hmm.
a referred to that hello. Okay,
Okay.
so next time we put a is equal to world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then world will get stored into that string pool, and
Okay.
now a will refer to world. So basically, new string is created in that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why string is immutable, and while using string builder,
Mm-hmm.
it is mutable. So like it basically, if we put string builder a is equal to new string builder, then in bracket let some string,
Okay.
so then a is equal to some another string, that then that will be erased, and new string will be get pointed by a.
Cool. Yeah, so those who are watching this video, right? If you are liking this video, try to like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Again, one more thing is, since we are discussing immutable, those who are interested, maybe you can write an immutable class, your own immutable class, and you can share it in the comment section. So let's see, like whether you can create or not. We can check that. Cool. So let's say there is one follow up on that. So you okay, maybe how about string builder? Like, sorry, I missed your explanation. Can you please come back one more time? What happens with string
String
builder? Yeah.
So string builder is mutable. It
Okay.
directly modifies the
Okay.
original string.
Okay. Fine. So let's say I have, for example, string A is equals to hello, whatever you take in the example, and string B is equals to new string of hello.
Okay.
So will it create two hellos in the string pool or one hello in the string pool?
One hello in string pool.
But I'm following different method, right? Like first I'm directly using I mean, directly I'm assigning, and second, I'm using new of. New
Yeah,
of
it
string. Yeah.
create new object, but
Mm.
B will also refer to the hello string already in string.
Got it. So you're saying there will be only one hello. So both will point to that one, but second one will have a different object will be created in Tron, which will refer to that. Okay. Cool. We have covered pretty much, and so exceptions you have told. That's which I covered. Um, okay. Just let me see if I have any questions for you. Do you know about this functional interface which got introduced in Java 8 by chance?
Functional interface,
Have you heard about it or used it?
like in which sense?
No, that's a concept. Function interface is a concept. Like it's a kind of an interface, new interface which got introduced in Java 8. Like, do you know about lambdas?
Lambdas, yes.
Yeah. So basically, lambda is an implementation of function interface. So cool. I think we are almost nearing to the end of this interview. I'm done from my end. Maybe I'll just share some feedback with you. After that, if you have any questions, you can ask me. So overall, it was definitely nice connecting with you, and thanks for participating actively, and thanks for answering most of the questions. So yes, I think there are few areas maybe you also might have observed during the journey, like you struggled a bit, you got confused. Maybe there are few things which you may have to improve yourself. Otherwise, you have done a good job. Because normally, what will happen is even though we use some concept daily, we will not basically ask questions on that. Like for example, storing null in hash map. Like it may not be like a day-to-day use case. I mean, we will, even though it is supported, we may not be knowing like whether it supports or not, we'll get confused. Same thing with, for example, internals of the set, how set is implemented. So these are all like, I mean, comes with the practice. As I said while discussing, it's good to know the internals whenever you're touching something, how it exactly works. For example, array list. So it maintains an order. So because as and when you insert a record or a value, so it will basically keep on inserting in the new index. So it will basically continue the basically ordering. So it's not just linked list. I mean, there is a difference between linked list and array list. Both will maintain kind of an ordering, but in a different way.
I mixed up with hash sheet. Hash
Okay.
sheet didn't follow, but linked hash sheet follow order.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I specifically asked the hash set. So yeah. So these things, right? Whenever you are learning any concept, it's good to double click and check the internals and ask yourself, play with it. Like my job is maybe just to store something. That's fine, but go a little extra mile. That will help you to basically get a hold of the programming concepts. So yeah, that's pretty much I had. Otherwise, as I said, no, you have done a good job. Just here and there, like some minor internals you have to improve. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
I don't have really.
Okay,
Uh,
cool.
mm,
Then yeah, so those are watching this video, right? If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel and like and share it with your friends. As I said in the beginning, try to practice these questions. It's not just for Abhishek, it's for all those who are practicing Java interviews, maybe have around 1 year experience. These questions are beneficial. And so other than that, I think so it was a good interview. And thank you so much, Abhishek, and all the very best for your interview preparation. Take care. Bye.